Hey everybody, this is Hoang, and today we're going to do a Craniamon black deck profile, so let's get started. First up, let's talk about key cards within the black deck, and I want to start off with cards like Greymon. Cards like Greymon, Clockmon, Tai, and Crescaroomon give you plus 1k DP on your opponent's turn. This is really significant as it makes all of your blockers gain more value versus your opponent as they're able to block much more things, as well as survive DP reduction cards such as Shine Greymon. So, with these cards, you're able to block 12k Digimon relatively easy. Next up, we have Crescaroomon. Crescaroomon is a really interesting card and doesn't normally fit within the blocker playstyle, but it actually adds an alternative win con or an alternative line of play that is much more aggressive than the average blocker deck. You are able to set up future lines of lethal, or you can set up a potential Craniamon stack. Following up, we finally get to Craniamon himself. Craniamon is the largest blocker in the black deck and is immune to card destruction. This means Purple's Vengeance, this means Omnimon's Pop, none of it works. Imperial Dramon and Rookie Rush are also susceptible to Craniamon as they're unable to get past Craniamon's large body, and if you use cards like Greymon or Tai, then you can even stop decks like Sarasmon. Going into the list, let's cover it real quick. First up, we have 4 Kapurimon, and then 1 Kakimon. The reason you play 5 eggs in black is because black is a very grind-heavy deck, so you play the 5 eggs because the game is most likely going to go to where you need the 5th egg, and Kapurimon is the best egg out of the available black eggs. We play 4 Gatsumon because Gatsumon is a rookie blocker, which means he works for Craniamon, and with boosts such as Tai being 4k means he can block all vanilla rookies. We play 4 Toyagumon because Reboot is a really powerful asset, and being able to give Craniamon or even Millenniumon Reboot is really powerful. It also means that they can gain the security attack +1 from Metal Greymon. Next, we have Commandramon, or this could be Hagurumon if you wish. It's a cheap 2-cost vanilla, it just gives us more aggression so that we can push for lethal. And then we top it off with 3 Promocaramon. The reason we play Promocaramon is, as stated before, it makes our blockers a little bit thicker so that they can block more things. Now, in the champion lineup, we play 4 Numemon. Numemon is essentially a rookie, as it costs 3 to hardcast. This just makes our bottom end much more cheap and allows us to go into our top end, which is where all our power is invested, much sooner. Next, we have Clockmon. Clockmon functions the same as Caramon and Greymon, where it just gives DP. 2 Tankmon because 1 Memory Digivolution is really powerful. And then we play 4 Kurasariman. Kurasariman is a blocker that costs 4, and the reason we play Kurasariman over Gardramon is because it can attack. So hypothetically, if we were to pull a Kurasariman off of the Crescaroomon, it is still a body that can attack, unlike Gardramon. It also is a cheap 4 cost, so it goes along the theme of cheap bottom end to go into our expensive top end. We play 2 Andromon because it has synergy with Craniamon, it's a really good Crescaroomon target, and is overall a really good blocker, as with any DP boost it can hit 8k, and 8k blocks most things except for cards like Lapugaridamon, Bastemon, and such, but if you get it to 9k, then it does block those. 3 Metal Greymon. Metal Greymon has really good synergy. Not only does it have reboot so you can be more aggressive towards the mid game, but it also gives security attack a +1 to War Greymon and Crescaroomon, and it can give it to Craniamon if you have Toyagumon. The reason why we play 3 Metal Greymon and 4 Greymon is because we're putting more emphasis on Craniamon, but if you want to be a more aggressive, then you would just play more Metal Greymon. And we play the 4 Greymon for the reasons we stated similarly with Caramon and Clockmon. In our level 6 slots, we have 2 War Greymon. War Greymon is one of the few black level 6 that only costs 3, as the other 2 cost 4. This means with Tai, we won't pass the turn digivolving into it. It has synergy with Craniamon, gain security attack +, and it's just a really good card overall, also proccing our Joe, which we'll get to. Now we have 2 Crescaroomon. Crescaroomon is not the main focus of the deck, but it does give us an alternative win condition, as it makes us more aggressive if we want to go that route. 3 Craniamon. I think 4 Craniamon is a bait, as it's really expensive and is outed by the tier 1 decks, so 3 feels really good, as you'll see it often enough, but you won't see it every single game. You'll see it maybe 2 out of 3 games usually. And then we have 2 Millies and 1 Alterest. We play 2 Millenniumon because the removal is still really powerful. It's good at removing bodies such as Sarasmon, such as Omnimon, and etc. Because normally we would struggle with those because black does not have a lot of innate removal, as its mechanic for removal is de-digivolve. So we play Millenniumon, and we play 1 Alterest. One of black's weaknesses is people would just swarm enough bodies to overtake the amount of black blockers you have. Alterest punishes that really heavily. We play 1B Cyclone. This card is give or take very cheesy, but it can actually close out games. You're giving +1 security attack to cards such as Crescent War Greymon, as well as Craniamon. So, if timed really well, you can actually surprise your opponent with lethal with this. Now we play 2 Tai, because a lot of our plays hinge off of 3, so securing that is really, really good. It also functions as Greymon and such, +1 KGP. And then we play 1 Joe. If Joe puts us to 4, then we can play Craniamon without passing the turn, which is actually a lot of tempo. But not only that, it's just really easy to proc. You can proc it with Kurasariman, you can proc it with Andromon and such. So really, really simple. Going into our matchups. Aggro-oriented decks such as Imperial Dramon and Rookie Rush and Purple are really easy to shut out, as Craniamon trumps them all. Craniamon makes you immune to Purple's removal, Imperial Dramon can't break over, and Rookie Rush has to opt into using cards like Flower Cannon and let us stop fighting, but if they don't see it, then they completely get blocked. However, you're still weak to cards such as Shine Greymon, Alteress, and Green if they have enough DP through boosts such as Kabuterimon, Agumon, and Minomon, so do be aware as those are the tier 1 decks. Closing thoughts. Overall, Craniamon has difficulties versus the tier 1 decks, but if you underestimate it, it can actually be really, really annoying to remove. This deck shuts down aggro really well, and be aware of DP reduction, bouncing, and bot decking, as Craniamon is not immune to those. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys found this useful. We did not feature gameplay footage in this video as we were a bit short on time. However, we will most likely upload a separate gameplay footage featuring Craniamon Black. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.